Nicky and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I don't always have this on my face. We'll get to that in a second, but I'm on a mission to lose 150 pounds and I'm down over 115. So it's all very exciting. I'm documenting my weight loss journey here on YouTube as well as on Instagram at Losing Lawyer. You can follow me there if you'd like. But we're here for another Wednesday weigh-in video. Whoop whoop! I know I'm a little late on this one. I was hesitant to film because, believe it or not, this has improved a lot this week. So on Monday during my run, a curb just came out of nowhere and my klutzy behind, yeah. Luckily it was just way more embarrassing than painful. So, we're good. We're still trucking along, but it's been a little unsightly around here. Luckily it's like scabbing up. Hopefully it doesn't scar. We're just, what can you do? I will have a timestamp for the Wednesday weigh-in somewhere here-ish. If you just want to skip right to that, I get it. I don't blame you. There is an exciting weigh-in kinda, so look forward to that. In the meantime, I figured we would do a little Q&A. It is Friday today. Tomorrow I have a 5K, so I'm gonna take you along that with me, and then I'll continue some of the 5K questions tomorrow. So real quick before we get into some of the Q&As, I wanted to go over some of the highlights from my DEXA scans. I know I still need to sit down and do the full in-depth video, but not everyone will probably be into every single detail they give you in the DEXA scans, and someone reminded me that I haven't shared some of my results yet. So we'll just throw that into this video as well. I have done 3 DEXA scans so far. I did one, the first one was March of 2021. I was already down about 45 pounds at that point, but to be honest, I didn't know what the max weight of a DEXA scan was, and I think I was already around it at that point. So the first one was March 2021. I weighed in at 273.6. The second one I did in August of 2021 and I weighed in at 230.0. The most recent one and the last one I've done was January 27th, 2022. Ooh, yeah, 2022, still sounds weird to say. And I weighed in at 206.2. So from the first one to the second one, the first DEXA scan is my baseline measurement for all of these facts and figures. So from the first one to the second one, I had lost 43.6 pounds since the baseline one, which is the other one. So the first one I had a fat mass of 100. Well, I guess I'll just do I'll summarize it for you. I'll get into all of the details in a separate video, but pretty much from the baseline to the second DEXA scan, I lost 43.6 pounds. 34.2 pounds of that were fat mass, and 9.5 pounds of that was muscle mass, lean mass. So when you have a lot of weight to lose, obviously you're going to lose some fat. It's kind of inevitable, especially in as large of a caloric deficit that we go into after weight loss surgery. It's just some lean mass will be lost. However, my entire journey, I have tried to minimize the fat loss. There are kind of 2 routes you can go after weight loss surgery. You can just try to take full advantage of your tool in the first year or the first however long when restriction is the tightest, and just lose as much weight as possible, whether it's fat loss or muscle mass, just as much weight as possible. And I know people go that route and then later they work on getting back into a caloric surplus and then putting on some muscle mass, and nothing is wrong with that route. Totally valid. I, however, went a second route where I was always going to try to maintain as much muscle mass as possible. One, you can also just eat more when you have more muscle mass, your metabolism works better. So, muscle burns fat. So I wanted more muscle, or to at least maintain the muscle I had. When I was larger and over 300 pounds, I still worked out. So I have a decent muscle foundation, I guess, and I wanted to maintain as much of that as possible. However, seeing the 9.5 pounds, like almost 10 pounds of that 43.6 was muscle, was not okay with me. So after that, I upped my protein even more. I've always hit my protein goals, literally always. I think at that point I was just trying to eat over 100, and since then I bumped it up. I hit bare minimum 130. Some days I hit 150 grams of protein. So yeah, that, you know, it kind of worked though, because the results between the second and the third, I lost only 23.8, I say only, I lost 23.8 pounds between the second and the third DEXA scans. However, 22.4 of the 23.8 pounds I lost were fat loss. That means it was only 1.5 pounds of lean muscle mass that I lost between August of 2021 to January of 2022. So yes, like weight loss slowed down, which it's always going to at that point anyway, but I did a much better job of maintaining my lean mass, and I was very proud of that. And the guy that like runs the DEXA scan was like, that's so impressive to see, like that's great. He's like, keep up with that protein intake, and like whatever workouts you're doing is working for you. And I also know, like, when you run a lot of people do lose some muscle mass when they run. So if I lose some, it's okay. Like right now my goal is my half marathon, and if I lose a little bit, it's fine. It is what it is. But I'm also keeping up with my CrossFit classes, so hopefully it just, and my protein, so hopefully it just, you know, isn't that much. But that was really cool to see, and it kind of validated everything that I've been doing. And like I said, I will do like when I can see like how much fat is in my arms, how much is in my legs, how much is in my like trunk, etc. So I will do a full video, I promise. And I have another DEXA scan scheduled in May or June, so that'll be really cool. And then I'll have 4 points of data to like compare. I just like comparing data, it's fun. But I also did want to point out, between the second and the third DEXA scan, I actually gained 1 pound of muscle in my arms. So if you've seen like my pictures and just my workouts, I don't really have upper body strength. Like my majority of my muscle and fat, I have fat in my arms. Actually, it's my biggest point of insecurity, to be honest. But I have a lot of muscle in my legs and my glutes and just like that area in general, and my upper body strength is pathetic. So to see that I did gain 1 pound of muscle in my arms was really cool, you know, progress, baby. All right, well now we'll just jump into some Q&As. I'll start with the one that I received on YouTube. Did you have any counseling either pre or post weight loss surgery regarding your relationship with food? I've noticed a lot of people mention the mental struggle or head hunger. You've been very successful and seem to not have a really, you've been very successful and seem to have a really healthy lifestyle. Hopefully that's not too personal. I'm halfway through my 6-month pre-approval process, and regain is a big concern for me. 1, thank you. 2, regain is a huge concern for me, as well as I think anyone that has struggled with their weight ever. So, valid concerns. I actually did lose weight successfully on my own in my senior year of high school. I lost like 65 pounds in about 4 months, and then throughout college and law school, and life afterwards, I gained it all, plus like almost 100 pounds, I think. So yeah, regain is a huge concern, and that is why I do focus on making it just a healthy lifestyle. I do go out to eat with my boyfriend or my family, and I don't stress. I pick healthier options, and I eat my protein first, and when I'm full I stop eating. And counseling, I did the pre-op psychology appointment that was required for my surgery, and that was truthfully it. I did work through this bariatric journal. I will put a picture here and I'll link it in the description box below. And I did that pre-op as well as probably for the first 5 to 6 months post-op, and I found that really helpful. You do have to like stop and think about why you're eating. Like, are you hungry? Do you need to reach your like protein goals? At this point in my journey, I find that I'm making myself eat more in order to eat enough. However, I do still have to focus on making sure I eat the right things. Like, yeah, it'd be easier to pick chips and salsa or like pretzels over some tuna packets on like a rice cake or something like that. So I still do have to be mindful, but it's really not something, like luckily it's really not something I struggle with that much right now. However, if it is, I really encourage you to seek counseling. I'm sure like most bariatric programs have therapists they recommend you like go to, or therapists that deal with eating disorders if that's something that you struggle with, or just kind of being more mindful in general and like focusing on mindfulness. So I would just encourage you to seek help if you need it. But yeah, and just check in with yourself often. Did that answer the question? I don't know, I don't want to. I mean, there is a mental struggle, and you do deal with head hunger sometimes too, where you're just like watching TV, or like during the Super Bowl, everyone's just like snacking nonstop, and I just have to check in with myself and be like, I'm not hungry, I don't need to eat that, or I've already eaten enough, like I don't need to keep eating. So, and, you know, just checking in with yourself. And I think doing that journal for as long as I did really help, because you do just, now I mentally just kind of check in with myself. Someone asked on Instagram, what made you choose the sleeve versus bypass? The sleeve just seemed less invasive and less scary to me. That's really the only reason. I did have a lot of weight to lose, and I still have like more to lose, but total I will probably lose 150 or a little bit more than 150 at the end, but 150 I'd be fine with. So that is a lot, and a lot of people that are closer to that than 100 pounds to lose do choose bypass. But I was 25, 26, I think I was 25 when I decided the surgery, and I live an active lifestyle. I just knew I needed like some help, like a boost, and if I just had like a fresh start or a fresh do-over, like I could do it. And I just felt like the sleeve would do enough for me, that, and just like the deficiency problems with bypass later on for the rest of your life. I know with the sleeve you have to take vitamins too, but yeah, I mean, both are very good options. I encourage you just to discuss it with your bariatric surgeon and your program and your family, and just see what seems like the best option for you. Someone asked, what would you recommend if weight loss has felt like a huge stall for months now? Been there. I would recommend mixing something up if you haven't done it. However, you have to give like what you mix up time to work. One, if you've still been in like extremely low calories and everything else, and you're hitting your protein goals, and you're taking your vitamins, and you're drinking your water, and nothing's worked, I encourage you to go out to eat with someone you love, have a great time, or order whatever you want as long as it doesn't hurt your stomach, and like it doesn't have to be healthy at all. Like have a slightly higher fat and higher carb meal. I still worry about fat too, especially now with my gallbladder, but before, higher fat meals hurt my stomach, so I'd stay away from those. But have a higher carb meal, like have the bread with your burger, and or like as much as you can eat. Obviously there's still restrictions, but have some of the french fries. Like have a higher carb meal. I'm not saying go crazy for like a full day or a full week or anything like that, but or like have a donut. Like take one day where you just don't stress about it. And if you've been in extremely low carbs and a high protein diet for so long, that could do it. It's broken like mini stalls for me, and I've heard of it working for other people. Try that. If it doesn't work, you had fun with your loved one, no harm, no foul. If that doesn't work, and if you're still in your stall or you've already tried that, try changing one thing and do it for at least a week to give it a chance to work. Try upping your protein, or if you're not consistently hitting your protein already, try that, but try upping it and do it for at least a week to see if it works. Try drinking a gallon of water every day for at least a week, see if that works. Try increasing your carbs. If you've been, I know girls that were like still on like less than 40 grams of carbs per day, try upping them to just like 80, and keeping your protein, your water, everything else the same. Try upping your carbs to like 80 for at least a week and see if that changes. I also recommend putting the scale away because it'll drive you freaking bonkers. I've been there, but I mean, if you're doing everything you can and the scale is just not moving, I feel for you. I've been there, but just remember, eventually it will. Like, I'm sure if you're stalling at this point for months, your body's already lost a lot of weight. So like, kind of just let it balance itself out. Take this as a maintenance period. Take this as practicing all the skills you've learned and just try to maintain this by living your healthy lifestyle. Work out a couple times a week. Go out to eat once a week. Follow like your normal food the rest of the time and try not to stress too much about it. Just let your body kind of level out and find its new normal, and then you could start dieting again. I know it's really stressful, especially like if you're in the first year post-op and you're like, I have to take advantage of this and like get as far as I can the first week or the first year. But as someone that's over a year out, like it doesn't just like cut off after a year. You have time, let your body adjust, even though I know it is incredibly frustrating. Someone also asked what has been your biggest struggle so far. Probably stalling out when you're like doing everything you should be. That is probably the hardest part of this. Hi, happy Saturday. Well, for me, not sure what day of the week it is for you. Please ignore the mess going on over here. We took another load from my old house over last night. Like we packed it up and moved it over last night, so stuff is just thrown everywhere. It's a mess. But it's like 8 in the morning. We're getting ready. Luckily this race doesn't start till 10, but it is an hour away. So we are gonna get ready, and one of the questions I got was if I use pre-workout or not. Also, it scares them. Also ignore, it's getting a little better, but I look like greasy and crusty at the same time because of all the stuff I've been putting on my face. So please disregard. But yeah, I do use pre-workout if I have like a race or a workout in the morning. If it's not in the morning, and usually it's not, I don't. Also, I only use like a little over half a scoop. I don't use a full scoop, and so I don't take, sorry, it's early. I don't take pre-workout normally because throughout the day I've had at least 1 cup of coffee, and then usually also like a energy drink or something too, or a 2nd cup of coffee. So I usually drink enough caffeine during the day that I don't need more from pre-workout, but in the morning I do take some. I'm also adding in a scoop of BPN electrolytes just so we stay hydrated. I did not drink enough water yesterday. That is faux show, but I was super busy. And then I think I'm gonna add in, yeah, I'm gonna add in not a full scoop, but some of this BPN Go One More Sport or G1M Sport in the fruit punch flavored. This is just carbs, like easy acting carbs, and these are what I use for runs over an hour. Obviously this 5K is not going to be over an hour. I'm just doing like that much, but maybe a little bit more. But because I don't have a banana or something to eat right now also, I'm just gonna have a little bit of carbs before the 5K. And then another question was some of my favorite pre-workout snacks. So I like having a meal like 3 to 4, usually 4 hours ahead of my workout, and then an hour before I'll have something like a banana, and that is usually really good for me. The full meal has usually digested enough that it like doesn't bother me, especially for a run, and then the banana I feel like usually gets me through. And now I'm incorporating the carb source on my starting to get longer runs in my half marathon training. But yeah, I have about an hour drive. I am gonna bring some like protein chips and a fruit roll-up just in case there's like no bananas or anything given out afterwards, because it is like to run at a brewery that my friend works at, and so I'm doing it with her, and then you meet up afterwards and you get like a pint glass and a beer ticket. And we're back. I know you're probably thinking, isn't this where we started the video? And yeah, it is. I just wanted to like go over my weigh-in and stuff, but throw in some 5K footage and whatnot just to spice it up for you a little bit. But this week I actually weighed in on Tuesday again, so it was Tuesday to Tuesday instead of Wednesday, you know, whatever, it's a week. But I put the scale away after Tuesday because I weighed in at 199.6. So your girl is in Wonderland! And I've mentioned before, I fluctuate a lot, so I put the scale after it because if it bounced back up to like 200.0 or something on Wednesday, I don't want to be triggered by it, to be honest. So I just put it away. We'll weigh again like later, Tuesday or Wednesday of this week. But yeah, I'm in Wonderland. Did I think it would take this long to get there? No, but you know, we're here and we're gonna celebrate, we're gonna enjoy it. Just a fun little marker milestone. I hope to truly never be in the 200s again and just maintain this healthy lifestyle. So last week I weighed in at 201.6, and that means this week I lost 2 pounds, which is my weekly goal. I hit it and I'm in Wonderland. Very, very exciting. That also means for the month of February, I lost 6.6 pounds, which is fantastic. Again, my goal is to lose about 2 pounds a week at this point, and that is slightly above this goal, or that I hit slightly above that goal. So very happy with February's progress. And that means I'm down a total of 117.2 pounds. But yeah, that is all I have for you guys in this week's video. If you liked it, please like, comment, subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram at LosingLawyer, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.